Appropriate etiquette is what we're going to be talking about tonight on the Elite Thinking Club. Welcome everyone everywhere. I'm Chris Jules Julian and I'm joined tonight by my co-hosts Liz, Mads and Michael. You all right, guys?
Hi.
Happy days. I love that. Yeah. Season 3. Can you believe it? I love it. I'm not gonna lie. We've talked about so much stuff. If you haven't watched our previous episode, that the launch of season 3, we literally cover all the episodes we've done. But if you haven't done so already as well, hit that like, hit the subscribe button before we get any further into this episode, just so you know that it helps other people see it from the like, and then also you don't miss any episodes in the future. But guys, you good? Mads is back.
Very good.
I'm just sharing, getting onto our live. That's all. I'm here.
Happy days. Right. So before we go any further, obviously I do this all the time. Got to say it, right? You cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it, and you cannot understand it unless you're willing to accept it. Willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences. We're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. Okay.
Hello.
I wanted to do this episode. Etiquette is really important to me. I believe that in certain situations in life, there is a certain way to be and act appropriately. For example, and this is always been a big one to me. In the gym, there's a certain etiquette, I believe, that, consistent gym goers get. It's like an unwritten laws. There's unwritten rules, but everyone kind of gets it until you get that someone who just doesn't get it. And they just literally break every rule that all gym goers kind of know. And, if you're listening right now and you can relate to that, please put something in the comments. Let me know if you know what I'm going with here. So I don't know how many of you guys go to the gym regularly? Are you regular?
Yeah.
You're regular.
Yeah.
You're regular. When you see someone, okay, Liz isn't regular, but when you see someone, it's kind of known that you just kind of nod, you acknowledge. But if the headphones are in, you're not speaking. You don't need to have. There's no conversation there. Headphones in means mind your own business. It's just one of those things. You get what I'm saying?
I'm working out.
Yeah. Someone tapped me on the shoulder once, be like, brother, I like this. Talk to me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, bro. You don't see the headphones. Did you not see the headphones? You know what I mean? It's just etiquette. And I wanted to do a whole episode on it because there's so many things in life where people should just know. Can any of you give an example? Any of you know a place, time and place where?
On the other side of that, before I forget, I want to actually get a jumper with 3 gym buddy and ask to join or something, because I go to the gym by myself, so it'd be nice if someone else that goes by themselves, just do you want to team up? Because when you're with another person, you get
right, Michael, don't wear headphones then. That's the rule. That's the law. It's if you've got, if you wear headphones, you don't want friends. But if you don't have headphones, you're approachable. But people that go to the gym know that. If you get what I'm saying? If I'm training,
the etiquette at the gym is not to really talk to anyone else. That's what mine's been like so far.
Yeah, when I used to go to the gym, I didn't used to go there to be sociable and to talk to people, and I just wanted to get in, get on the machines, and get out. I didn't want to be chitty chatty. No.
Oh my goodness, I'm that annoying person, Jules, that comes and taps you on the shoulder.
You know what's funny? When I'm in the gym,
you own it.
Yeah, I've got a face here when I talk to people and I'm people engage with me, but for some weird reason I think I must have the most intimidating face when I train, because I don't want to talk to people, and I actually get into a really really zone of just don't speak to me because I'm in the zone. Do you know what I'm saying? So if someone comes and taps me on the shoulder, it isn't because I'm giving them signals to. It is the complete opposite. However,
I think
some people don't pick up on the signals.
Yeah.
I think I look like a monster in the gym anyway. I think I used to make funny faces. That's why I don't go. So
I think I get it when people don't. Or if I'm getting the vibe that someone don't want to talk to me, they don't hold that eye contact with you. But there's been times where I've had my headphones on and I'm in the middle of doing set or whatever, and then somebody I know or know of will be like, right, and then like they'll start to walk towards me, so then I pull my headphones off and I'm like, okay, and then they end up
We'll
having
put you up.
When I used to go to the gym, I used to dread it because I wouldn't actually look around and make eye contact with people, because if I did, then, you know, some guy or woman would come up and start talking to me. Oh yeah, what weights you doing, what you doing? And I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know all the technicalities. I'm just lifting them up. I don't even know if I can do it. I'm just doing it until it hurts.
Okay.
So yeah.
I've got another one, and I want to know what people think about this one. Okay. So I've always thought in my mind that a man should enter a room before his woman does, just to establish that the room is safe for the woman. Now, I know that sounds like, oh my God, Jules, we're not living in like savage times and whatever. I know, but it's psychology, in my opinion, right? So imagine allowing your woman to enter a room where she has no idea what's on the other side of that door. She could be walking into a room full of 20 blokes, and all 20 blokes are going to turn around and they're going to look and they're going to do exactly what blokes do, and that's think a woman on her own. Then the man walks in behind her. I feel that's a bit, I'm just saying, for a woman, correct me if I'm wrong, that would feel you'd feel the pressure. Would you feel judged? Would you feel like, you know, eyeballed? I don't know what you'd feel. However, when a man enters the room first, which I believe he should, this is etiquette, a man enters the room, he acknowledges the room, takes a look around, establishes. Now, once he's established the room and the room has established him or acknowledged him, then step to the side and introduce your woman to the room, if you believe it's safe for her and you think, yeah, she's going to be okay here. However, if it's not, you could just turn around and be like, babe, we can't stay here. The ratio is ridiculous. There's no other women in here. You're not going to be comfortable here at all. However, you know, you give her the option. I'm just saying, ain't that good etiquette? Because I don't think
thoughtful. That is thoughtful. But if it's freezing cold outside, I don't care if you're going in before me. I'm getting in that room.
Yeah. See, my etiquette means that I open the door for her and she goes through first.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to say. I have noticed in this day and age, when you go out to certain places now, there is a little bit of a lack of that in the younger lads. Sort of, they don't get the whole.
So you've been
etiquette.
taught to hold the doors for women.
Yeah, that's what I always do. Anytime.
But you can do that. You can do that from inside the room. Like if you walk in first, you can then because you acknowledge the room, they acknowledge you. Because I'm confident. I'm so confident to walk into any room. You know me. I can't meet anybody. I see anybody. They'll be like, "Who's this guy?" And then I'd be like, "Hold the door." I'd be like, "Come in, babe." You know what I mean? Because then they would acknowledge her, and then I would actually allow her to choose where she wants to sit. I think that's etiquette.
Yeah. Like, so I don't really think about anyone that's in a room when I go into it. They don't. Like the rest of the world doesn't really come into my mind. It's just I'm in a bubble with me and her. So then I let her in a room because she's my queen, so she goes first. And then the rest of the people in there can just fuck off if they want to do anything. They go,
see, I get that, but I'm from a different headspace, right? So I will enter the room first because she's my queen.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I never looked at it that way before, but yeah, it makes sense.
Trust me, Michael,
It's
yeah?
like
Enter the room
protection.
first. Yeah, enter the room first. Blokes will acknowledge you, and then they will acknowledge a woman second. And they're only doing that because how psychology goes. And I feel like if you're not taught on that, if you're taught to hold, I get where you're coming from now. But now you've heard this from me. How do you feel about the situation?
I'm still going to let her enter first because she's big enough and ugly enough.
Jules, did you know they used to do
that?
They used to do what you're saying. They used to do that for like the queens back in the day, like her cavalry or like her closest like circle
Bodyguards
would go and check out before they travelled, before they went and dined somewhere. They would go and check out before the
But
queen.
the queen always walks in front. Though.
Yours is quite a regal way of introducing your partner. Yeah.
Yeah, but the queen always walks in front. Whenever you see her in public, she's always at the
Yeah,
front.
but they would always check out first. So they would always make sure she was protected and it was safe beforehand. So
yeah, I mean, if I ever went to a place that I trust, then I might do that. But I only go to places that if it kicks off.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about another etiquette, yeah? While we're on the topic of restaurants. when you sit with a person, I don't know if I'm going on etiquette or if this is just like psychology, I don't know, but I definitely always try and make sure that we're sitting at a circle table, or if we're sat at a square table, we sit in an L shape. We never sit opposites. And I don't know if that is like etiquette or just my psychology, but I just believe that it's so much better to sit that way.
What do you
I
mean?
think we're taught and conditioned to sit opposite, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's just, and also that's the way a lot of tables are set out in restaurants and establishments. But I agree. I don't think there's I think it's quite nice when you sit next to each other, or you sit like one's on the corner and you're there next to them. I quite like that because it's more intimate, it's closer.
Yeah, this is what I think. Yeah, like when you're sitting in an L shape, right? Say like I'm on the right, her right, and she's on my left. Yeah, and we're at the L of the table. Imagine a square table. It opens up the room. Do you know what I mean? It opens up the room. And if someone was to say, like, introduce themselves to us, be like, hiya guys, we saw you from across the room. We just want to say you look absolutely awesome, because I get that all the time. I'll be like, you know what? Take a seat. Now, obviously, if it's a guy, I'll be like, sit next to me. And if it's a woman, you sit next to my woman. Do you get what I'm saying? It just establishes that them boundaries, are healthy boundaries there. Now, if it was an opposite table and they're like, yeah, can I sit down? Can I sit down? It's like, I'm putting people between me and my girl. And not only that, when you're eating, you're facing them direct. So you're just constantly staring at them. And I think that's just a bit, watching someone eat. If you sit in L, you can acknowledge them when you're speaking, and you can have a little chat. And then again,
I prefer sitting like that. I prefer sitting closer near the corner.
I prefer sitting opposite.
You prefer sitting opposite?
L shape.
Yeah, so I can see her.
Yeah, but you do see her.
But
So here's another one as well. So the circle table. So I got this. I don't know if this is etiquette. I always try and opt for a circle table. So when I will like recce a restaurant or call them up ahead, like you got table, or what's your food like? Ask for the circle table. Now most restaurants do big circle tables for big groups. I get it, right? But even ask for one if it's just two of you, because what a circle table does, again, psychology or etiquette, I don't know. It opens up the room. There is no invisible walls. On a square table, it creates this invisible wall, and they normally sit you next to other square tables. And I just think it's so
do you want somebody else to come and sit with you? Like, surely if you're out with whoever, your girlfriend or whatnot, do you want some strangers to come and sit at your table?
Not if they're strangers. I mean, if it's someone I know and they're gonna sit. However, like, it still opens up the room.
They came and interrupted your meal and sat with you as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so like when we're at a new place.
Is that etiquette? Don't sit at the table. Like, acknowledge and then leave.
You know what? Something similar happened to me once, and it was the most awkward. I hated it so much. I was with my ex in a restaurant. It was like a cafe in Australia, and there was like two of us waiting for a table, and two couples waiting for a table, and someone jumped off. And so he went to go, and so did the other guy. And so anyway, I went and followed him and sat down, and he was like, oh, we'll tell them they can come and sit with us. And I was like, no, don't do that. And he was like, no, come on. And he said to them, come sit with us. But he meant like they can sit down until another table come available. But this couple didn't realise, and they actually thought that we were inviting them to join us for lunch. And so they sat there with us the entire time and was like trying to make small talk. And I just absolutely hated it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is just they're like, oh, so what are your names? Like, what do you both do? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh.
See, to me, it's that etiquette there, I would have, I think when you're out, and you do see people or even people you don't know, it's etiquette to kind of just be like hi and bye. Hi and bye.
Yeah, if you're watching and you like what we're talking about, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but also put a comment if you've ever been in like a situation where you think etiquette was appropriate but no one really paid attention. Now, talking about restaurants, God, I don't want to say it, I just feel like it has to be said, right?
Is this the hats thing? Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is. Great. But we'll talk about that. Kids. Okay. If your kids are not of age to understand etiquette in a formal restaurant, don't bring them. That's my personal opinion, because there's nothing worse than trying to have a nice sit-down meal with adults and have a conversation, and all you can hear is like a child just losing their shit. Why did you bring your child? Like, it's just inconsiderate. Like, what are you doing? This isn't McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? you get what I'm saying?
I wouldn't take young children to a formal restaurant because I just think it's too much. They don't understand. It's too much for them, expecting them to sit still and to be like, kids don't sit still for a long period of time. So if you're going to go for a 3-course meal in a formal restaurant, don't take your children. Like, it's just not going to work unless they're older and they're able to, you know, sit and understand the surroundings that they're in. And you know, the format, the atmosphere.
Oh my god! Okay, one sec. Did you see what I just did there? No. Sorry, when I sneeze, I've got this habit now. Yeah, I sneeze into my top and pat it down, so it doesn't, like, you know what I mean, spread. Is that etiquette?
You're gonna call me out my good etiquette then, because I said bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, yes. See?
We're all over it. What do you call it? Sanctimonious.
Yes.
Sanctimonious. I'm telling everyone out there that ain't got it right. Get it right.
This should be called the Etiquette Thinking Club.
The elite etiquette thinking club. Okay.
Yeah. I personally,
Michael, what are you drinking?
I wouldn't take my kids to a formal restaurant.
Oh,
If it's like a Wagamama's or something,
Was a
that's
bottle of rum.
different, you know.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So yeah, you did mention it, Liz, and I've seen it, and I wanted to say something, but it's not my place to say. And maybe I'm just a bit too old school, or maybe it was something that was taught to me, I don't know, by my granddad or something. I saw it somewhere, like gentleman flipping thing I follow or something. I saw a guy sitting there with his hat on in a restaurant, and I was like, my bro, like,
What kind of hat are we talking though? Because
like
are
a
we
cap,
talking based?
like a.
I don't
even think it matters. Like a headwear,
Baseball
unless it's
cap.
religious, like a like a
I don't
turban.
know, because I think you can get some hats like that are really smart. You know, you can get the fedora and the top hats. They're quite smart, but I think like baseball caps but then you get the old man caps as well. And then you've got the military ones, you know.
Well, you have to take the military ones off.
Yeah.
You have to take barriers off when you eat anyway.
Yeah, no, I know. You're taught that. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I normally eat with someone. I'm not going to mention his name, Clive Firminger, who never takes his hat off when he eats.
I suppose it's like your jacket, isn't it? It is. You take it off. And you sit comfortably.
Look,
I think
it's not right. It's not right or wrong. It's just what's appropriate. I just, you know, it's etiquette, isn't it?
I personally don't mind if I was sitting around a table and somebody had a hat on. I love wearing hats myself, so, but I wouldn't personally sit and wear a baseball cap, but I probably would wear a fedora hat. It doesn't even matter, but I don't know. It's strange. I don't know, but I don't have anything against anybody that would do it like at the table with me.
Okay, so I'm gonna take this one step.
In a formal setting, I think it would be etiquette to take it off. Yeah.
Mads, what do you think about that? Are you bothered by a person wearing a hat at the table?
I think if I was to go into a restaurant and a guy I was with was wearing like a New York Yankees cap or something, I'd be a bit like, I'd probably think, take your hat off. Come on now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my point. But anyway, I'm going to take it one step further, okay?
Yeah, I would.
And before we go in one step further, are there any comments? Like, are the viewers commenting or anything? Or are we still at the moment?
What about this? Is this all right?
Wear it to lunch. Wear it to our lunch date.
That Cheryl Cole performance on X Factor years ago. She wore one of them, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Fight for this love. Yeah.
Fight for this love. Yeah.
Who sings that?
Cheryl Cole.
Yeah, let's keep it that way. Crikey, girl.
Oh.
Right, Mads.
All right.
It's our mission now to get a record contract just to say, just Jules.
I'm going to say
really happening.
The next level of etiquette, right, in a restaurant setting, okay, conversation. So
Yes.
I'm a firm believer that when you're in a social setting, especially amongst like, I don't know, like friends or people that you wouldn't call like real close intimate. So if it's just you and your missus, you talk about everything, right? So you should be able to trust them to the fullest. You can talk about anything. Probably why they're your missus or your man, because you know you can talk about that sort of shit. But when you're in other social circles or other situations, there is etiquette in conversation. Like some things just you wouldn't really talk about. And I'm a believer that for men, something we don't need to talk about in front of women is politics and war. Them two things we don't need to talk about in front of the women. And I'm just
they should be spoken about in any conversation.
Go on, Michael.
With anyone, because they only lead to arguments.
So
Politics
even amongst
and war, yeah, unless you're having a debate on something, you should never talk about politics or war in a fun circumstance. So if you're having a meal, like or a party, these are the rules we used to have as parties, like family get-togethers. Is never talk about politics or war.
Because there will always be an occasion where it brings out the worst in someone, or just there's conflict, and
people have too much to drink. They think their opinion more important than someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why.
But that's why I believe it is. Like every time you ever watch it, next time you talk about politics or war, it gets a little bit too heated because.
So is it etiquette then, or is it something that is it an avoidance?
I was told that if the conversation ever leads into that way, you just don't need to speak. I was also told once, knowing when not to speak is an art. So if the conversation is happening, just know that you're not partaking in it. It won't be noticed consciously, but subconsciously, people pick up on it. They know, and maybe it's time to move on or whatever. Just. That's what I was told.
Sometimes it is best to, even when you think in your mind, pipe up. Sometimes it is best to just don't do it. Don't get involved. And sometimes it's a great feeling when you walk away and you think, yes, didn't get into that one.
Can you think of any other situations where like etiquette is a big? Okay, we're still at restaurants, are we? I'm just gonna. Another one just popped into my mind, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Phones at the table.
I'm guilty for that.
We all are at times.
Yeah.
We live in that world, so it's very hard, but I think it's really good. It is etiquette, absolutely. I think this is an important one, and I think that it is common courtesy to put it down and just be fully in the room, partaking, attention, and just not even bothering with your phone, 100%. And it's hard. Like I go around my friends once a week, and she cooks for me, and we have a nice time and we have a meal. And it's one of the rules we have. No phones at the table. We leave them in her living room and we go and eat at our table. And it's lovely because it's just there chatting in the room, no distractions, because it is a huge distraction. So yes, it's etiquette to give that person your full attention and time.
Yeah,
and eye contact instead of that.
And we're all different. Like everyone's got their own life to live. I'm not here to tell people what's right, what's wrong. Do this, don't do this, whatever. Live your life however you want to live your life. But I'm also now in a state of no phones in the bedroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll go on that.
Obviously,
how's that come about then, Jules? Did you used to have it in your room before? Is this like a new etiquette?
Yeah, like it's just as you keep growing in life, you just do things right that serve you or don't. And when you figure it out, you just keep doing what works and stop doing what don't. And one of the big things for me was turning the phone off and putting it in another room. Like, don't actually take it into your bedroom. And this happened. And then for some whatever bizarre reason, I didn't install the habit strong enough. So unfortunately, sometimes it's now back in the room, and I shouldn't. But if you're with someone, just make a vow, just leave it outside the room. And, it's tough because you're not used to that, but it's powerful, very powerful, because, two reasons. One, the light on your eyes before you try and shut your eyes, it does something to your brain. And two, you'll actually just acknowledge the moment. You're going to bed with your partner. Enjoy that moment. You don't have to be on the phone looking at other people's lives. You've got your own life. So it's just etiquette, isn't it? Like we're talking about etiquette.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's just
true.
I can't remember if we've spoken about urinals in the live yet, or we spoke about that before?
Have we spoke about it? Okay, cool. Yeah, Michael, good shout. Right. Next, moving on, right? Toilet urinals for the gents. Ladies, I don't know what sort of etiquette you girls have in loo situations. And I don't want to talk about this topic for too long, but it's definitely something that just, let's talk. We are talking about it. In men's urinals, right? Like back into the gym etiquette, it's not a written law. It's not like something that we've wrote down and stuck on the wall to give people the heads up. However, if there's a row of urinals and that and people are pissing, if there's space, then use one, at least one, away from a guy. You don't have to go right next to him because it's just weird. Like, it's just awkward as shit. It's just weird.
I wouldn't want to be a man. I wouldn't want to get my willy out and be standing next to him thinking, oh, I can see his willy and he can see my willy. I wouldn't want that. I'd always go into the cubicle.
No, you don't let them know you're looking. You have to subtly.
Nah. Nah.
When you get a photo, that's a little bit too much.
You kind of just got to, like, etiquette-wise, you just got to respect someone. You
Just
respect someone's boundaries. It's just
Look at
respectful.
the wall.
Yeah, you just respect the boundaries. Like, no, the boundaries are there. No one's wrote the rules down.
Why are they so? Why haven't you got like little?
What? So are you telling me?
walls
Are you telling me that women don't have etiquette in girls' toilets?
Well, we have cubicles.
Yeah.
We don't have urinals that we just openly see everybody's bits.
Some places they have a little wall in between the urinals, but not a lot of places.
We're literally closed off, but you guys are like open showroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's not fair. We need
fair,
to start petitioning for you guys.
It all depends how you see it, though, isn't it?
walls.
Like, because it is.
Don't you have
urinating,
little
it
barriers? Don't you have little
some
barriers?
countries do. Some countries have barriers.
So when you stand in your little bit, do you not like have little walls up so they can't, and they'd have to peer over? And if they are peering over, then they are definitely overstepping the boundaries. And that's like
9 times out of 10, they don't have stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you another one, right? I'll tell you another one, yeah.
Can I just add that urinal thing really quickly?
Go on, Matt.
There's a club in Southend that probably it's not there anymore. They probably don't have this anymore because it wouldn't be allowed now. But when I was clubbing, I think I was about 16, when I was clubbing at about 16, they actually had, the men didn't know it was there, but we used to obviously tell them it was there. What they thought was a big mirror was actually a window for the girls in the girls' toilets to see through into the men's toilets.
no.
All right, we're chuckling about it because, like, it's funny, but it's up to us anyway. However, can you imagine if that was the other way around?
I know.
Yeah, it'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Like, what? The men can see into the girls' toilets.
So I'll tell you what, I did go to a place once, and it was something called the Bear or something like that, like Hungry Bear or Eating something Bear. I forget where it was, but they've got a really nice loo where you don't actually see the person opposite the wall, but that where you wash your hands, it's open. It's actually open, so you can see like someone's waistline, and you can see them washing their hands. Yeah, that's quite cool. I think that's quite cool. It's like it's weird. I'd never seen it before, but basically the men and women share the hand washing bit because it was like a wall with like a space. You know what I mean? Like the sinks were below.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was quite cool. So on that though, yeah, etiquette wise, right? So I don't know why some people don't know this, but there is something known as a courtesy flush. Okay. If you're sitting on the bog and you've got to drop your guts, the bog didn't smell before you did that. It's the doo-doo that smells. So whilst the doo-doo's on its way out, hit the flush before it hits the water. That way it goes with the water, therefore eliminating the smell of doo-doo. Yeah. And I don't get why people don't get that. Like, Jesus Christ, I walked into loos before and I'm thinking, who's that? What is that? And I don't get it. The guy's still in the bog. Yeah, the guy's still in there. I'm like, bro, courtesy flush. Just flush it, bro. Like, what are you doing?
You're making me want to cover my nose.
It's just courtesy flush. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, but some people don't know it. Some people don't get it. Crazy.
Yeah, well, anytime I flush the toilet while I'm on it, I balls it. So
hold on though. Hold on. Isn't it etiquette? So if you go,
just hover, Michael, hover.
If you go to someone's house and you need the loo, now to me, I don't like using public toilets. I'm a bit OCD about it. Only do if I really, really have to. And I couldn't do a number 2 at somebody else's house. I
Yeah, I
just
tried my
couldn't.
hardest not to.
I just don't know. Did you hear, Mads? Did you hear? I've got to say this because this is etiquette. Did you hear about the lady that went on a date in I think it was in South London, and she went on a date and she went to the guy's place.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she went to the guy's place and he cooked for her and she really needed the loo, so she went to his loo and she did a number 2.
Yeah, go on, Liz, with the story. It's a great story. Yeah.
She couldn't flush it. It got blocked, and she did not want to, so she tried to scoop it out. And she tried anyway. It wouldn't like she'd blocked his loo, and she tried to scoop it out and chuck it out the window, and she got stuck. And they had to call the fire brigade, and her hand was out the window with this poo in the hand. I mean, it's the worst first date ever. Oh my god, sorry, it just made me cry. And yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't do it. I would just be like,
it, yeah.
I've left something in my car, I've got to go and get it, run down, find the nearest like loo, pub, whatever, and I'd rather do it there than.
So I don't know if this is a true story or not, but I thought this was the story you were talking about, Liz. Yeah, there was a girl who went to a guy's house, had to use the loo. Loo didn't work, so she'd done a doo-doo, couldn't flush, so she scooped it out and put it in the cat's litter tray, which was in the toilet for some reason. And so she left. She obviously cleaned up her hand, cleaned up and that, left and sat back down, and then I think the guy. The guy went into the loo and said, "Babe, did you shit in the kitty litter?" And she said, "Oh no, it must have been your cat." And he said, "My cat died last week." And yeah, that's a story I heard. Like, so yeah.
Oh my god!
Etiquette. Don't do.
Stop it.
Don't do
Nah,
on
for
a
real.
date. No.
Oh my god.
Oh my! I think
At
it's
least
worse as
Check the
well.
flush works.
Like
Flush
this
your toilet
is.
first.
Yeah, I mean,
I
if you've
think
got to go, do the courtesy flush. Like, if you know it's on its way out before it even hits the water, just flush it. Because if it's the doo-doo you're worried, if it's the smell you're worried about, just do that.
What if it won't flush?
Check it, flush
That's
it
what
first.
happened with that girl.
No,
Got
that's
to
what
sort
I would do.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
come on, it's not difficult. Find something like a container, fill it up with water from the sink, and just keep putting it down the toilet.
Oh, what you'd simulate the flush. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's
That
fine.
simulates a flush.
Yeah, but they're going to be like, how long is she in there? What's going on? It sounds like she's running a bath. Do you know what I mean? You just
Overthinking it. Okay, guys, let's move on from that one. But yeah, that is like etiquette, toilet etiquette. You know, it's just a thing, isn't it? So, anyone have any other etiquette that you can just think off the top of your head? If you're watching and you're kind of cracking up like we are, or you got anything to say, definitely say it. Go on.
Like sort of how we approach and talk to our elders. Like there's a certain etiquette and respect, and also talking of dates, like first date etiquette, like what not to talk about, what to talk about. But I think you kind of covered that with what you said about conversations like at the dinner table and stuff. But yeah,
Going back to the gym though, is a thing that really winds me up is people not cleaning their equipment after they use it. I think
that's etiquette.
Yeah,
and putting the weights back, putting the weights away,
or putting them in the wrong place. That's annoying as well. Like I went to put some dumbbells back, and someone had put them in the wrong spot. So then I'm just standing there with these weights, like 5 kilos weights, like I'm hard. Like where did I put these in?
Who put the 6s where the 5s are?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the main toilet etiquette, which I think is important, personal experience. If you use all of the loo roll, replace it before the next person comes in. Ugh. That is toilet etiquette.
Fair enough.
But it's also funny when the other person hasn't got any, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, they're
but
all gone."
that's where it's etiquette. It's like, think of the other person now that you've used it all, you know? Come on.
Yeah, I agree though.
It's difficult, like, you know, because some people have genuinely never been taught or never been in a situation where they've learned the etiquette, like the art of conversation sometimes, and who you're around, analyzing a social situation, or even seeing like the environment, like this isn't the environment nor time and place. And that's what I put in the title, appropriate etiquette, because sometimes it's not even what's right or what's wrong, it's just if it's appropriate.
I find as well with children, you often are saying a lot of the time, and no, that's not the time, that's not the place, no, don't be like that, we're not like that here. And so yeah, I think it's something you teach and you're taught. Definitely.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's any other like situations where etiquette's appropriate. Like I bet there's loads.
And helping with something heavy.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you run into dangerous things though, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Like shopping bags. You turn up, if you go shopping and my bag, I'm struggling with my bags, you're going to carry them for me, right?
I mean, if you're struggling with the bags, yeah, of course, with like, you should. Does
that go in with sexism? Should I carry it because you're too weak?
Is it expected though as well? That's another thing too. Is it expected? But is that etiquette? Like, is that etiquette?
Or is that conditioned etiquette?
It's polite,
you know.
It's polite.
I think it's personal preference.
Let me help you with your bags.
Who's got their laptops to hand? Someone quickly Google the exact definition of what etiquette says. Yeah. Because the bag carrying thing, I'm not sure if that's actually etiquette. Who knows? I'll tell you what though.
Code of polite behaviour in society or among members of a particular profession or group.
So, okay. Shaking hands after a football match or any competitive sport. That's good etiquette, I would say.
Yeah. So 5 types of business etiquette is workplace, table manners and meal, professionalism, communication, and meetings.
Yeah. But you know what? I've lost it. So I talked about sports. Oh, come on, Jules. Don't worry about it. It'll come back to me. Well, I was going to say something.
Yeah, it says code of conduct and behaviour etiquette includes having a strong moral code of conduct. The basics include allowing personal space, following the golden rule, treat others as you wish to be treated, obeying the 10 commandments, and respect for elders. All of your actions affect others.
It's really hard though to install etiquette into some people. Only because they probably aren't affected by it. I remember being young, wouldn't like an older person telling me how to live my life. Now I'm an older person, I still with these youngers, and I'm like, I can help you, but you know, I was their age once, you know, how can I reach them? How would they possibly want to hear what I have to say?
There's one here, I'm just looking at a list of etiquettes, and it says, even if you do not drink or abstain from drinking, there's no need to warn everybody.
I need to what?
Remind me, say that again, man.
There's no need to warn everyone. Don't warn everyone. It says still order a white wine and just wet the lips.
Oh, I see. So if you're not drinking, don't tell people you're not drinking. That's etiquette. Just be like, yeah, I'll have a lemonade, but don't announce it to the world.
So you don't need to go, oh, by the way, everyone,
I'm not drinking.
Because
yeah, you know what smacks it? Okay, so I'm going to use that and teach
instead just say, I would like this.
And help someone with a scenario. Like if she's watching now, she probably ain't, because I don't actually know her, but she might, because, you know, I don't know. I think she fancied me. But we was at a place where there was a lot of mixture of people, right? And it was a sit-down meal, I remember. And I had to let the person know I'm vegan, just so you know, I need the vegan menu. And the girl said like something like, oh, how do you know if someone's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. And I felt like saying, oh, girl, like, what's your beef? Like, what's your business? Like, why would you say that? And you're right, Mads, though. like for some vegans, they have to announce it to the world. They have to tell everyone they're vegan. But if you're not drinking or you're not eating meat, then yeah, you shouldn't have to announce it. Like, is that etiquette? I don't know. Is that a new etiquette? You don't actually have to tell people. Just be like, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one, it says again, never say you're on a diet. You can just refuse a dish. You don't need to say, oh, I'm on a diet, so I'm going to order the salad. You can just say, I want to order the salad.
Yeah, why make a thing about things anyway? Like,
Yeah.
no, it makes it harder. Why make a thing about it? Just go with the flow.
We're all on a diet, really.
People don't need to know whether you're drinking or not.
What? I'm not going
to get to a bar, just say, I want this. And if people say, oh, you don't want an alcoholic drink? No, I just fancy that. It's fine. That's what I do.
I'm on a diet. We're all on a diet. What are you on about? You sort your life out. We're on a diet. We're all on a
the
diet.
opposite. I'll be like, can I have this? And can I have that side dish and that side dish? Do you want them all to come together? Yes, please. And people are like, are you all right, Liz? You hungry? I'm like, yeah, we can all share. It's great. Pretend I'm ordering for everybody.
I've never heard that one before about the alcohol one, but yeah, I suppose I will just.
I actually like that one. I'll use that.
I've never heard that one. Why though? Is it because like it makes you look like the party pooper or something? Like you're the one that ain't drinking.
Well, it's installed in us, isn't it? That not drinking is boring. I mean, think of all the sayings like stone cold sober, sober as a judge. Like if you say, "Oh, I'm not drinking," people think, "You're a bore."
Yeah, my family are convinced that I don't drink, that I'm a teetotal, because normally when I go to parties, I'm driving. So obviously I don't drink, and they're like, but then they go, oh no, Mark don't drink, Mark don't drink.
But I've had that before.
I drink a lot, just in different occasions.
When people say to me, are you not drinking? And that's the other etiquette, where I haven't mentioned it, but somebody else has brought it into the thing and highlighted it. And I've been like, no, because I'm driving everyone home. So I'll literally switch it where I'm driving.
You know what?
I don't have to explain that I actually don't want to drink.
I was going to say
that. I'm just saying I'm driving.
Why do you feel forced like you have to explain yourself?
Yeah, but I find that that's also etiquette. Why highlight? Again, it comes under the communication and conversing when you're out. Why highlight that somebody isn't? What's the issue? You know.
So is etiquette in a nutshell as well? I'm sort of like evolving in my head with what you're saying. The intrusiveness, even though it's mild, it's none of your flipping business. Like there's conversations people be having with people, asking them really intrusive questions, and I feel like saying to them, it's none of your business. Like, what's your what? Like what? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we have a conversation about something else rather than my business? Because it ain't your business. Do you get what I'm saying? That's etiquette.
I think another etiquette with men and women is a man making sure that a woman is walked home or to safety. Like one time, ages ago, when my little brother was younger and he had a girlfriend, I knew her car wasn't on the drive, and he said bye to her at the door and came back in the house. And so I knew she was parked up the street because we live on a busy road, so she would have been like a few minutes walk away. And so I was like, where's her car? And he was like, up the road. I was like, why are you not walking her to her car then? Like, I think that's etiquette.
Yeah,
also, I've just
goes against sexism.
I've got the train, walk me to the train station, make sure I get on the train.
Yeah, but then he has to walk home. So you're going to walk him back home after?
No.
Oh, it's only for the females then?
Yes.
I've just thought of another etiquette.
Liz, can you hold that one? Because I want to. I want to explore what Mads just said there. Like, I mean, I'll be honest and say that that should be part of the etiquette. However, if that is expected of a man, then there are things men expect of a woman, and it can't be so one-sided. Like, for example, if a woman expects the man to be the guy to protect her from, I don't know, a savage dog, random rabid dog, she is expecting him to protect her, or the threat of another man, you know, or, you know, which you're highlighting there, walk me to my car to ensure I get there safely. Okay, cool. You expect me to put my life on the line, whatever the threat may be, to ensure you get to the car or get to the destination or just are safe. I'll do it, babe. I'm the man. That's what I'll do. That's what's expected of me. However, then I've got some expectations of you as a woman, and don't try and get out of these because it's not a fair deal otherwise. And is that etiquette now?
That's what I said earlier about it being dangerous. Like when you get into etiquette, when you talk about different etiquette for sexes, it gets a bit dangerous.
I'm happy to admit that we're not equal. I am so happy to admit that now. I've made peace with that. I've made peace with it.
I think it should go both ways, men. Like, we should be taking care of each other. I know it isn't in our society, but yeah, it's hard because, like, your brother in that scenario, you said go walk her to her car, so he went and got her safely to her car. So what if when he walked back, who was there to then protect him? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But he protects himself. No, he should. Yeah. As a man, you need to, I think, understand the basics of combat. If you're not introduced to that in your life, you should be, because there is a basics need. You know, you need to know your basics, basically. That otherwise, he was pointless trying to walk her to the car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, as men, I feel like there is, like, I used to be in this different state of mind about half a year ago to like maybe 3/4 of a year ago, where I really did feel like we had it worse off. Then I've just come to the realization that actually men and women are completely separate lives. We are completely separate. We're not equal, and we have to make peace with what we've got. Women have their own set of flipping things they need to do, and men have their own set of things they need to do. And what we can't keep doing is blaming the opposite sex for shit we ain't doing. However, we should expect the opposite sex to accept their role within their sex. Do you get what I'm saying? Which actually is going to be a great topic of discussion for a future episode, which I feel like we should maybe do. But etiquette wise,
can I just say my last thing?
Yes, go on.
I just remembered something. So, like, pregnant women with a bump, I think there's etiquette sometimes gets forgotten. Sometimes people will just come over and start stroking your bump, which is a little bit invading privacy. And also that whole, oh, when are you due? And, you know, just the whole, there's just an etiquette. And I remember when I had my children, and I just remember, oh my God, the amount of times I would get it. And sometimes there'd be a day where you're just tired, you're hot, you don't really want people coming up to you and touching you randomly. You think, you wouldn't have even come up to me and randomly touched me if I didn't have this bump here. So why are you doing it now? And also, can I just say as well, this actually happened in front of me in the shop. I kid you not, and it was awful. This lady was behind me in the queue, and this lady that was serving us said to the lady, I was packing my bag, and she said to the lady, oh, when are you due? And the lady said, sorry, what do you mean? She wasn't pregnant.
I did that to my sister.
Yeah, she wasn't pregnant. And I just felt for the lady, but I just wanted the ground to soak me up, because I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me.
Unless she spoke about it, you shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Why do people do that? Like, oh. And the girl that was serving was like, oh.
That happened to me once, but in a different situation. I was on the train. I used to commute from London, and there was an older lady, and I was sat down, and like no other guys got up, but she was still, like, obviously she'd been to work, but she was probably like my mum's age, and so or a bit older, and so I was like, do you want my seat? And she went, what, because I'm old? And I was like,
oh gosh. So even when you are thinking you're being etiquette, and
you shouldn't have. Okay, so let's just highlight both situations there. Don't say nothing. That is the rule of both of them. Like,
going back, just don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing
ever.
I was like, would you like to sit down? Do you want my seat?
But just stand up, man. Just give up your seat. Don't have to tell her, do you want it? Like, just give it up. Just get up and stand up. Don't say nothing.
Go to the loo.
Let her have the option. Yeah. Let her have the option. And then, like, the pregnant woman, that one that said, you know, when's it due? You shouldn't have even said it. Just don't say nothing. Knowing when not to speak.
If you're not 100% sure it's a baby bump, you don't say anything.
I've got 2 examples on that.
Oh God, come on.
I found out my sister was pregnant. I forgot which sister it was, But when I see the other one, I said to her, "Oh, not long now, then, is it?" Yeah, it was the wrong sister. And the second one, my ex-wife had quite big boobies. So a lot of people, like at parties, would just come up and grab her tits because they're big. I thought that was definitely.
I had that happen to me in a club once. Someone just ran up to me and just did it, and I was just like, seriously?
I'm sorry to laugh at it. I just think it's funny. I can imagine it in my head. Someone just running up to me like, "Yo, boobies!" And
Yeah,
just
literally grabbing them, going, "Ooh," and it's just like, really, like.
Fucking, that is way inappropriate. So yeah, etiquette. Just, you know, you shouldn't be running up grabbing girls' boobies.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
do not. Do you know what happens?
And the same as like slapping bums and pinching bums.
One thing that winds me up, right, is I don't know why this happens, but I get stopped quite a lot by guys. I've been stopped by security in the local shopping centre, going into the shop, saying to me, "Oh, you look really nice, can I have your number?" I've been stopped on the high street, like 2 guys today, like literally watched me walk past them from in front and then all the way back. I looked back and they were still staring at me. Like in the gym all the time. I actually wear an engagement ring sometimes in the gym because I think I can't be bothered to entertain it sometimes. And then the worst one is somebody actually saw me walk down the street, got in their car, followed me and pulled up next to me and was like, I've mentioned this one before, and was like, "Oh, what are you up to this weekend?" And I just think that is such bad etiquette. Like, I'm not gonna.
We're not mind readers. We're not mind readers, Mads. We don't know what's going on in your head. So in our heads, you can probably imagine what's going on in our heads, but in your head, we don't know. So, like I said before,
I'm giving you a signal. If I look at you and I smile or I'll give you the eye or whatever, fine.
yeah, I mean, signals are, you have to learn that. You can't teach that. You have to go through, you have to have many failures before you're a success. So most men, you know, we only learn from our failures. So you're probably getting approached by guys who are probably just testing. I say it all the time. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Take the shot. If you get shut down, so what? But yeah, okay, if it came across a bit creepy, I'll stop following you, Matt.
Yeah, I've had it when I've been running. I've been running and sweating, and I had this guy drive past me in a car and he looked at me funny, and then he turned around at the roundabout and came back down and followed me whilst I was running. Yeah, and I'm not thinking that he fancies me and that he thinks I'm attractive. I'm thinking, is he a serial killer? Is he going to try and get me in his car?
Liz, I promise you, I'm not a serial killer, okay? But I will just stop doing it. Okay, girls, I'll just stop following you both. Now, here is a question. Yeah,
is it?
What if you did actually like find the guy attractive? What if you actually did respect him for his pursuit? What if he made you feel like, oh my God, he's going above and beyond just to take me out for lunch?
Funny story. This one time there was this guy in my gym and I thought, right, okay, he's actually really attractive. I fancy him. Is he going to come and speak to me? And he didn't. He kept looking at me and like, I knew he kept giving me the eye and smiling and being like, "See you later." And I thought, is he never going to come speak to me? And so in the end, I went to him and gave him my number.
And right, I'm gonna explain something to you. Do you know why he didn't? Do you know why he didn't approach you?
Huh?
You know why he didn't approach you?
Why?
Because he only learned from his failures. There was probably a time in his past when he did and got shut down. So he learned, not going to do that because I don't want to be that creepy guy.
Yeah, yeah, too right.
When I saw
where do you win? How do we win? How do men win? Like,
when I saw him, I said to him, why didn't you come up to me? Why didn't you come speak to me? He was like, I was waiting for you to come to me. He said, I don't do that. He was like, I'm not that creepy guy in the gym that goes up and chats to girls.
There you go.
But he most likely was once upon a time. He did try. The only way you learn is to fail. No one tied their shoes first time or rode a bike first time or, you know, got it in first time. You've got to practice. You've got to take, you got to learn. So no doubt he's learned from his mistakes, understood the laws of nature. And yes, he is now the magnet, which will, if you haven't done so already, you should watch our episode on retention and how it benefits men. If you just wanted to, I'd have to throw that in there, guys, And if you haven't done so already as well, hit the like and hit the subscribe button. If you've watched the episode up until this point and you've had a laugh and you're still watching, you need to hit the like and the subscribe because it is what it is. You obviously like what we do here at the Elite Thinking Club. Right, guys, we're going to roll into the next episode. Well, in about 10 minutes, have a little break. However, is there anything else you guys want to say about this episode?
Go to elitethinking.club.
Go to the elitethinking.club. The link's in the description there. Purchase some fan merchandise if you want. Anything else, guys? Go ahead.
Etiquette. We are always, often eating on here. Isn't it etiquette to eat with your mouth closed?
Yes.
Isn't it etiquette to eat with your knife and fork, elbows off the table? Who came up with that? Who actually came up with that? What's the problem with your elbows being on the table? Who was offended? Who was offended back in the olden days by your elbows being on the table? Who came up with it being?
It doesn't look that good.
There's a good question. I suppose the one way to eliminate that is to have chairs with arms. Sometimes you go to a place and these chairs don't have arms. I don't get why.
You just sit back and you're like, yeah.
If there's no armchairs, then allow the elbows on the table. But if there isn't armchairs,
I notice it when I go to cafes and stuff and I'm having lunch. I notice people are sitting there like that on the table, and I think, how funny. When we're children, we are taught elbows off the table, knife and fork, mouth closed. People don't want to see what you're eating. Like, I want to see what I'm eating. I
actually haven't seen anyone do it in a long time, but chanking, some chanking, they chank. I haven't seen that in a long time, but anyway, good point, Liz. Real good point. Etiquette at tables. There's any other situations or anything else you guys want to add? No, we're good.
Etiquette on Zoom. Yeah. Did you hear about the guy that was on a Zoom call and he was doing things he shouldn't be doing?
Yeah. He thought he left the chat and he got caught.
Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that happens a lot on Twitch, doesn't it?
Yes. So, right. Very, very good point. We're going to take a 10-minute break and then we're going to come back and do an episode on something that, as we've wanted to do this episode for a long time. And it's a little bit more serious than this one. So if you're ready for it, please join us. That would be great. It's actually about how much good erases the bad. That's the title of the episode that we're going to do next in 10 minutes time. So we'll see you then. But for this episode, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to check out more episodes, then do find us on YouTube and support the channel. It means a lot to us. And if you want to also get some fan merchandise, click the link in the description too. All right. So that is the episode on etiquette from myself and the team, everyone everywhere. Peace and love.
Thank you.